We'll be doing the exercise on social network analysis, and the file that we'll be using is the Northwind sales data, and that should be here as an Excel file within my documents. And so I'm going to start my SAP predictive analytics. And my goal is to take this data set, Northwind, which is provided by Microsoft. And so I have customers there who are buying products, order number, and so on. And so I want to create a community of customers. That is, people in the same community are buying the same kind of products. I want to have a community of products. That is, product in the same community are being bought by the same people. Then I want to have the leaders of that community, people with the highest connectivity, that is buying the most in each community of product. I again want the marquee products that are being bought the most by people who are buying that community of products. I want to make a recommendation for an individual customer what they should be buy, and then also remove data sets that are have extreme connectivity, because that might be some kind of a wrong data. So I'll start with my modeler, and I'll select the create a classification regression model. No, not a classification, but a so I go to social, then I go to create a social network analysis, and this is my first choice, and that I get. And so I'm going to click that and increase the area of this one. So I click this one, and then I have got an Excel workbook, and so I go to browse, I pick up that copy of Northwind sales, okay, and then I go next. I go and analyze. So these are my fields. So I have the customer ID, company name, product name. So I'm going to be really doing communities of customer ID, communities of product name, recommending product name for a particular customer ID, and so on. So that is the kind of analysis I'll do. I'll do some view data, and then I'll close, and then I'm going to do OK. And so my transaction is now the kind of graph I'm doing is a transaction. The contact would be appropriate if there was phone calls between two sets of people, or somebody commenting on somebody's blog, then I would have chosen contact. And so here I'm going to choose customer ID, product name. These are the two bipartite graphs, one graph of customer ID, one graph of customer product name. And then I add the add graph thing so that I get to select what kind of graph I want. So now I want to derive a bipartite graph. So I click this one, and then my selection here is going to be on product name. We'll do that for customer ID as well. And I'm just going to make minimum support something high so that I don't get overwhelming community graph that are almost overwhelming to read. So I'll make it say 20. I go to OK. And now I do 4 times the next, which may not be visible to you. So I do next 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now I can do generate again. That may not be visible because the thing is not completing. So I do a generate, which is this part of it, Then I do next. Then I go to display and I go and select nodes display. And in nodes display, I can do a customer ID. I can pick up the one with the maximum weight. I can say display node. And so this is when I find that, this person is consuming something quite a lot, say, Alice Martin. So I can highlight this. And I can say expand selected node. And so this kind of a product who's buying. So that kind of a thing, it tells me, what does a customer buy, and then the reverse mapping, which is given the product, who's buying the product. So this is the Russell's sauerkraut, who's buying the Russell sauerkraut. So I can now go to new graph 1, product name. I can go to browse communities. I can say display top level browse communities. So these are my top level browse communities. And so I can highlight this and I can say do drill down. And so this is the community ID 8. This is the product that is the kind of the central one. And around this particular central thing, the other members of the community are relating to it. And so this is a community design for the product. If at the earlier point when I had chosen product, but instead of choosing product name, I had chosen customer ID, I would have then been able to develop a community detail for a particular community of customer IDs. So let us now go to previous. I can go to recommendation. I can select a customer ID ERNSH. I can say get recommendation. So this is the product that this customer likely to buy. And I'm just getting 1 because I made these minimum support as 20 so that things are readable. If I had made minimum support as 2, I would have got about 8 or 10 of these. So these are the recommendation for a single one. I can go and get more details. So I can go to debriefing tables. In debriefing tables, I can go to social network analysis. And social network analysis, I can highlight the ones with the highest degrees. So this is giving me the customer IDs who have been buying the most. So within a particular community ID, I can then find out, who's the most frequent buyer in that community ID. This is the products that are being bought the most. And again, if I had made minimum weight as 2, I would have got a lot more products here and a lot more weight here. And so these are some of the so this is the number of customer IDs are 89, the number of products are 77. I get 3 communities for products, I get 3 communities for customers. These are some distribution about the community sizes. And so that is the analysis that is allowed by SAP to do about social graph in the network analysis, where you can make a market basket recommendation for a particular